Let's talk about the ICE raids.
In California, and a new showdown over the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. ICE agents raided 2 farms yesterday near Los Angeles, and at one of them, workers were lined up against a wall. Neighbors and others came out to protest. ICE agents used smoke canisters and what appeared to be tear gas on the crowd. This all happened in Camarillo, California, north of Los Angeles.
Angry protesters clashed with mass federal agents Thursday during an immigration raid at a cannabis farm north of Los Angeles in Ventura County. Witnesses say agents tossed smoke bombs at protesters.
They threw one under the car, and then all the car inside, it got full of smoke.
As the situation escalated, agents deployed what appeared to be tear gas, sending much of the crowd running.
There's got to be a better way than the way that they're acting right now.
Yesterday,
tactical vans.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so like
during immigration sweeps
in,
at 2 farming.
Tactical vans, dude. ICE is just becoming an expanded part of the military, which again, by the way, as Mahmoud pointed out today, they have more rights for whatever the they want to do than our police. You don't have a warrant? Doesn't matter. They'll lie to get into the building, and they'll buzz a different neighbor or whatever. Granted, obviously, like, police break these rules all the time, but like the rules exist.
Technically, ICE does not have a right to detain us or limit our movement in any way.
Nope.
Okay, technically, in the books, their affairs are in the enforcement of immigration. So as an American citizen, they technically can't arrest you.
They can't do anything.
Yeah, they can't do anything. But how can they figure out if you're an American citizen or not? They have to detain you. But that detention process in and of itself is literally illegal, technically. And you can sue ICE for detaining you, an American citizen. But the problem is that legal process is unnecessarily complicated by design and costly, and you get nothing in return. You get very little.
You're not going to get damages.
Yeah, you get very little damages in return for being detained by an ICE agent. I said that before. That's why Trump was like beefing up ICE raids in blue states, because he knows if he were to go after red states and actually go after farm workers in the red states, he's harming the bag, because it creates enmity, it creates tension, it creates animosity towards the administration, and they know that. That's why when the LA ICE raids were happening, he literally was like, we're just going after blue states. It's a way to punish blue states, basically.
Well, especially California, which has always been like the kind of like California and New York City together are both the kind of grand scapegoats. Chicago to a point as well for gun violence, but still.
All of this as we await a decision from a federal judge in California who seems inclined now to severely limit immigration enforcement efforts by the Trump administration. This Biden appointee indicating that she may issue a temporary restraining order today, essentially siding with litigants who argue that ICE agents are violating constitutional rights. So far, she says she has only reached a tentative decision, writing, "It is truly a tentative. It is not final. My intention coming into this hearing, given the urgency and the weight of the matters at issue, is to issue my ruling tomorrow." But she has also said that she does not want to burden what she calls lawful law enforcement activities. And again, that decision should come down later today. Back to you.
You know, this is also strange, and maybe the strangest part of that ruling right there is the idea that when did federal judges begin giving alerts to what they're going to, how they're going to rule tomorrow, which at some point it starts to make you think that it's all kind of a coordinated effort to give people time to the ACLU to have a press conference,
stupid, bro?
for example.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, if this judge does go forward and issues this temporary restraining order, this is the equivalent of a judge making a ruling that the DEA can't go search individuals for drugs and narcotics on Skid Row in L.A. It makes
drugs the same as immigration, or is criminal law the same as immigration law?
Yeah. Well, if you ask these guys, it's worse.
Yeah, because
clearly that's the reason why they're doing resource allocation at ICE away from drug enforcement and actual cartel apprehension, and over to making sure that they're packing up dudes working in agricultural production. You know, the real criminals.
The real criminals who do a job that literally...
Which is, the real criminals that are doing a job that
none of you would do.
Yeah, that's legal,
none
too.
None of you would do.
Like, people will be like, it's weed, it's weed. It's like, dude, it's legal. What are you talking about?
And
like,
you wouldn't do the job.
They're trying to say, oh, so you want slaves for farms, or you want these people to keep working for cheap labor? And my answer always is, no, I want them to get pay parity. I want their wages to go up. Like, I want there to be some kind of parity with wages across the board so that they're not a depressive force on the existing documented labor pool. And I want them to have citizenship. Give them the proper paperwork to become citizens. They are already here. They've been working here for decades. It doesn't make any sense. It's literally a more cost-effective solution. The only thing is there's going to be people along the way that are going to have their feelings hurt because they're just like scared of brown people. That's it. That's like, and that's not that significant of a percentage of the population.
No.
If there was the political willing from one side of the spectrum that unfortunately is maybe just like not as racist as the Republicans, but like almost as racist as the Republicans and just gayer. Like if those guys were to potentially like launch a serious political opposition towards this and just be like, give them the documentation. It's just paperwork. What are we doing? All right. Noah Colwyn, Eric, you guys were fantastic. What a day. What a day.
Bye, chat.
I'm gonna get back to the news coverage right now. Wow, New York's been fun, dude. I love New York. I love New York so much. It's a good city for politics, baby. I'll tell you what. Good city for politics. Good city for being a political commentator. That is for sure. I like it a lot more than the life I lead in Los Angeles sometimes, even though all my friends and my family lives in LA. I think this is the first time that the White House account has been ratioed. The symbol of hope, truth, justice, the American way, Superman Trump. Oh my God. National Jusha. God damn. I don't, ableism, I don't condone. Dark woke. I mean, this guy is not dark woke. His name is National Jusha, chat. Are you insane? Dark woke is when liberals say like, crazy shit. When someone's name is National Jusha, they've been dark woke for a moment. That's like, that motherfucker is a Maoist.
Let's go down to McAllen, Texas. An absolute barrage of bullets from an assailant on a Border Patrol annex facility in McAllen, Texas, that housed the Special Operations Division of Border Patrol. That individual deceased, but it's causing all BP facilities in Texas to get heightened security. Let's go to Tuesday, July 8th, the next day. That's when, as you're mentioning, Lisa, the Democrats, led by Cory Booker and Senator Padilla, wanting to unmask agents while the agents, ICE...
This is a major conspiracy. Cory Booker is working with people who want to kill ICE agents. Like, my man, be serious, please. Like, please. That is... Like, Donald Trump directly did January 6th, was like, the election was fake. We should overthrow the government, basically. And then January 6th is done. They go, how could you possibly make a connection between our big, beautiful president who did a rally and then told the rally to basically go to the Capitol? That's no connection at all. Meanwhile, you turn around and you're like, Cory Booker wants ICE agents to be assassinated? Really, Cory Booker? He's not wrong. I'm working with Cory Booker. Yeah, Cory Booker wants to do ISIS-style decapitation videos for ICE agents is an insane thing to state on Fox News, but here we are. They're saying it, and perhaps even worse, there are people who believe in it. Like, there are people who believe this.
But we have to look at what doxing, like why somebody is revealing this person's personal information. What is the reason for doing that? And the reason for doing that is to put their life in danger.
Your parents probably... When you think about it, you probably, some of you have parents who think Cory Booker is this like seriously dangerous, scary guy. Yeah, Cory, book him and cook him.
But law enforcement has said that they are...
You're laughing. Cory Booker is coordinating anti-ICE pogroms and you're laughing. Sick. Yeah, I saw the Tim Pool take on the armed protester. I said, why do you hate our Constitution? 10,000 retweets, 3.3 million views. Sentiment is growing. Law enforcement isn't kidnapping family members. We don't know who that guy is that shot children. Children were recovered doing labor on a marijuana farm. If the left is willing to lie to defend this and argue for the right to shoot cops, I assume escalation will only continue. Dog, guy who made civil war is imminent any day now style videos for the entire duration of his idiotic career.
What do you make of where we are at the moment? What's your take?
Do I have to say it? Civil War
is now going, oh my God, the members on the left want to do civil war. Guy who was like, race war is imminent. Civil war is imminent. The Democrats done did it again.
And then finally, as we've been talking out in Camarillo, California, the unbelievable, there's a $50,000 reward. The U.S. attorney out there, Bill Isolé, saying that they want to capture that individual that appeared to fire a weapon, fire a pistol at ICE agents who were carrying out a lawful warrant. This is the first 10 days of July. If we stay on this trajectory, Lisa, that's why Tom Homan is saying that he is, and we're going to talk to him in just a little bit. You know, yesterday on this couch, we asked Secretary Kristi Noem, DHS Secretary, I said, are you worried?
So what is that? What happened there? Was it like an actual gun that they were shooting at the ICE agents? Like, do we know more details on that? Like, I just want to know what happened. I've only seen that still. Everyone's like, Dad, it's real. Calm down, okay? I don't know. I don't know what took place. What's shocking about it is if it was like actually a gun and someone shot at law enforcement and they didn't just like slaughter every single person there. That's like the maximalist amount of restraint that I've never actually seen. I've never seen that kind of restraint from any law enforcement. So that's what's like shocking about it.
A Fox News alert. Chaos in California. Federal agents deploying tear gas while protesters hurl rocks during an ICE raid at a marijuana farm allegedly staffed by illegal immigrants. The scene escalating when a protester seen here appears to fire a gun.
See, that's what I mean. Like, they have this. This is the only thing I've seen.
Feds. The FBI now offering.
But like, I don't really understand. Like, this motherfucker actually pulled out. He busted the gat.
Allegedly staffed by illegal immigrants.
Like, what is that? Other angles on Twitter, they also keep saying seen here with what appears to be firing a gun. Like, why aren't you just saying this protest is firing the gun at agents? I don't know. I don't know.
The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward for info on the suspect. All of this comes as we await.
I think it jammed. Oh, there's another angle. It might be a real fucking gun. Oh, that's what they're saying. It appears that he fired. I don't think he actually fired. I think he tried to fire, but he just couldn't. Look.
Take a look at this video right here. It appears a protester fired some kind of gun at federal agents.
Some kind of gun.
Afternoon, it was a really chaotic scene at the time.
Yeah, look. He runs back and he tries to fix it.
Protester fired back with that.
By a Biden-appointed federal judge who's expected to curb all federal immigration operations in Southern California. Border Czar Tom Homan joining us now. Tom, I watched that video out of Camarillo, California yesterday and was just mortified. What happened there and what is your reaction?
My reaction is the same as been from day one. People are welcome to protest. They have their First Amendment rights, but they can't cross that line. They can't impede us from doing our job. That's a felony. They certainly can't put hands on an agent. That's a felony. So what happened in California is just another example of protesters becoming criminals. And they've been emboldened by even members of Congress who compare ICE to Nazis and racists and terrorists. I mean, the rhetoric is so high, and I said 2 months ago, it's going to end up with a loss of life. And we had one the other day in Texas, and it's not over. I mean, the rhetoric has to end. ICE agents are simply enforcing the law that members of Congress enacted, that they wrote, they created, and was signed by the president. If people want to complain about the job ICE is doing, go complain to Congress, because we're enforcing the laws they enacted. We're doing our job.
Hey, Tom, can I just take you back? You just said you had a loss of life in Texas?
Yeah, you had a person attack a Border Patrol facility, firing at the facility, and BORTAC agents.
Right. The individual that assaulted him lost life. Okay, I was just clarifying, making sure you weren't making news there that an agent had lost his life, and that is, of course, the fear. But you talk about those politicians.
Bro, no, you got to get a new guy. I mean, not to give any tips to the Department of Homeland Security, but like, Tom Homan is so bad at communicating, man. Even the host is like, what did you just say? Tom Homan sounds like what I imagine a bag of deli meat if it gained some kind of sentience, would sound like. Just gums flapping in the fucking wind, man. He's like the human basset hound, dude. He's like a fucking no, not a basset hound. What's the ones with the gums? Like a mastiff. It's crazy. It's like watching a fucking mastiff try to drink water, bro. The fucking jowls flapping around. God damn, dude. It's craziness.
And rhetoric that clearly seems to be fueling much of this, but you've also got some distortion of the facts. This was a post that California Governor Gavin Newsom put up yesterday. Kids running from tear gas, crying on the phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Trump calls me new scum.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to do this, but Big Gav is right. This is literally what's going on every day. And we all see it. Dude, you know what this is? Not to bring everything back to Israel, but like this is very Israel shit. But basically what's going on here is that initially maybe some people didn't care, right? Plenty of people didn't. They were like, oh, whatever. What am I going to do? It's like maybe they're criminals. Probably good that they're getting taken out of the country. But every single day you see another family being separated from their provider, from their dads, you know, kids like crying in immigration court. Like every day you see these horrible images. Eventually people start noticing that these aren't criminals, you know? These are just like regular ass people working every day trying to make ends meet, and they're just being shipped out of this country for no reason. And eventually, after the 700th child that you see in a bag that their parents are carrying in Gaza, you start developing some opinions about Israel. And just like that, every day after the 700th time you see like a child crying as his dad is like physically ripped away from them, you know, you're going to start developing opinions about ICE, even if you previously thought it was appropriate.
But he's the real scum. We later find out there were 10 juveniles in that operation, that were 8 of which were unaccompanied minors. What do you say?
I see this every day, and I said from day one, when President Trump became president, that they're going to vilify the men and women of ICE. They'll vilify the men and women of Border Patrol. They did it during the last administration, except this time, the rhetoric's at an all-time high. Every day I get up and I read the media posts at the White House, and 90% of the stories are just fake.
What's the argument? Oh, it's in camera only. Sorry. What's the argument? I'm sorry that you saw me get up instead of Tom Homan's ugly ass face. I will never let chat live this down. Chat, remember this moment. 7/11/2025, 4:42 p.m. Pacific time. Chat demanded that they see ugly ass Tom Homan's face. Yep, 7-Eleven, baby. Remember 7-Eleven. No, you got it. The Tom Homan heads are like, dude, I'm horny. Come on. Just his gums flapping, don't do it for me. Just his jowls, don't do it for me. I need to see the sex appeal, okay? I need to see it with my own dang eyes, dude. Full screen for Tom, please.
They're lies. So, and people say, well, the polls are kind of turning against Donald Trump a little bit on immigration. First of all, I don't believe it. If the polls turn it off, because all the fake news out there, they're lying about what the President Trump is doing. They're lying about what the men and women of ICE.
Anyway, the argument I was going to make is like, are you the advocate for child welfare in this scenario? Like, what's the argument? Oh, well, we're going to violently deport them to the slave labor colony in El Salvador so they can be free of doing what? Labor on the weed farm? If I am to believe that there are, 16, 17-year-old, like, unaccompanied minors working on the field, okay, which is a likelihood, for the record. There are a ton of undocumented child laborers in like poultry facilities, at a Hyundai facility in Alabama. Like, this is a real thing that happens. So what's better for them now? to be shipped off permanently to CCOT? Like, if you got an issue, arrest the farm owner, bitch, not the kids.
And that kind of turns, the tide against us a little bit. But that's why, members of the administration are out there every day setting the facts straight. The fact is, I read in the paper the other day, the majority of people who arrest are not criminals. Wrong. Look at the data. Go to ICE.gov, look at data. But we got
That's literally just the truth. That's crazy. I like that he's stupid enough that I assume his argument is they're all undocumented immigrants, so they're all breaking a crime. Yeah. Crimes are not meant to be broken. They're breaking it. I'm here to fix it. The crime that was broken.
This should be a nonpartisan issue. Arresting public safety threats and national security threats, everybody be all on the same page on that. Rescuing children, I mean, it should be a nonpartisan issue. Everybody.
Look, they're rescuing the kids by tear gassing them. My mistake. When I see your Gestapo force tear gassing the kids, the illegal babies, I didn't realize it was liberation gas, dude. Yeah, everything I've seen from television telling me this is exactly how they liberated Iraq, for example, or like how Trump liberated Iran just the other week, or how Israel is liberating Gaza. This is how liberation is done. Thank God for Tom Homan, the great baby liberator.
The media's lying. The Democrats they don't want President Trump to be successful. I got news for them. We are being successful. Every illegal alien public safety
threat. Yeah, they killed someone in this raid, by the way. One of the farm workers died in the chaotic raids in Ventura County, California. And from what I understand, as of 5 hours ago, there were other workers, including U.S. citizens, that were unaccounted for. Bro, this is like the Epstein stuff, you know? They geared up, they tuned up the entire public to 11 on the Epstein for years and years and years and years, right? And then they were like, oops, no Epstein leaks. Just kidding. Shut the fuck up. Look in the other direction. And kind of a similar thing took place with the Second Amendment. Every day they're like, oh, I need my second to protect the first. I need my Second Amendment against a tyrannical state. And then the state starts doing tyrannical shit. And they're like, nope, not like that. I meant like you can use it on black people. What do you mean? What is the most tyrannical state? A black person in your vicinity where you can do castle doctrine to, which basically is a on-the-spot deputization. Like you turn into a cop almost in that very moment when you're fearful of your life.
Arrest makes this country safer. Every national security threat we take off the street.
This particular farm already has a class action lawsuit from 2023 ongoing for labor law violations. Raided cannabis farm facing federal probe for child exploitation as a subject of past labor law complaints. I'm losing my fucking mind. Brother, are you serious? Glass House Brands, whose farm was raided by immigration authorities on Thursday, is the subject of several labor law complaints, according to Washington Examiner review of the Los Angeles County Superior Court records. Following the raid, Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner Rodney Scott said 10 juveniles, all illegal immigrants, and 8 of whom are unaccompanied minors, were rescued at the marijuana facility in Camarillo. In response, Glass House disputed ever employing children are knowingly violating labor laws. Glass House has never knowingly violated labor laws, so the youngest was 14 years old. These are the juveniles found in the marijuana facility, almost all unaccompanied, one as young as 14. California, are you ready to partner up with us to stop child exploitation? Bro, arrest the guy who owns the facility. What are we doing? Brother, it's the kids that are in detention. Do you understand? Illegal kids. How does no one look at the situation and go, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. They should probably arrest the guy who was hiring children. Like, what kind of abolition of slavery required the execution of the slaves? Oh, here it is. Ex-cop turned legal pot farmer claims he's a bigger dealer than anyone sitting in prison. Glass House Brand CEO Kyle Kazan says his booming business produces 6,000 pounds of pot a year, and the number is growing. Former LAPD officer who once had to arrest a man he pulled up next to at a red light who had a marijuana plant sticking out of his car. What a wonderful story, man. I love this story. Thank you. Yeah, we got to protect this brave patriot business owner who was harmed by these illegal children that he unknowingly hired to do child labor exploitation. We should actually punish the children extra hard. They went up to him and they're Latino. They went up to him. They were sneaky and did Latino style mind control. He's the real victim here. In May 2023, 2 former Glass House harvesters, Ana Maria Pedreira and Lourdes Patricia Avalos, filed a class action lawsuit against Glass House Brands and its subsidiaries, including Camarillo Cultivation Center, for allegedly refusing to pay regular and overtime wages. Dude, Oh my God. I'm so mad. This is everything I find out about the story pisses me off further. The case is still pending and a status conference is scheduled in October. Among a slew of allegations, Melendez claimed the Glass House failed to pay workers all wages earned, including sick pay, minimum, regular, overtime, imposed unlawful quotas. We should punish the day laborers even more, actually.
It makes us safer. And we're rescuing thousands of children. The lives saved every day by ICE, the lives saved every day by Border Patrol, are in the hundreds. So it's the only thing I can think of, Griff, if they hate President Trump more than they love their community. They hate President Trump more than they want, safe communities. And there's just no other excuse why this is not, why this has become a partisan issue to take public safety threats off the street.
And before I run out of time, Tom, I've got to get you.
I'm on my way back from Texas and watching disbelief as thugs were violently throwing rocks and bricks at ICE officers. They were moving down a roadway in their car and/or official vehicle. Tremendous damage was done to these brand new vehicles. I know for a fact that these officers are having a hard time with allowing this to happen, in that it shows such total disrespect for law and order. Therefore, I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and Border Czar Tom Homan to instruct all ICE, Homeland Security, or any other law enforcement officer who is on the receiving end of thrown rocks, bricks, or any form of assault to stop their car, arrest these slime balls using whatever means is necessary to do so. I'm giving total authorization for ICE to protect itself, just like they protect the public. Oh my God. I never want to see a car carrying a law enforcement officer attacked again. Authorization immediately granted for arrest and incarceration. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's like, yeah, come outside, shoot him.